You've been waiting for the right moment, the right mood, the right sign, and you call it patience. You're lying to yourself. Patience is not waiting. Patience is not sitting still and hoping things get better. That's not a virtue. That's fear, with a better name. Here's the difference, and it matters more than most things you'll hear this year. Waiting says, I'll start when the time is right. Patience says, the time will never be perfect, so I move now and I keep moving. One of them builds something, the other, one just gets older. Marcus Aurelius was in charge of the most powerful empire in the world. He was dealing with war, sickness, and people trying to destroy everything around him. He didn't wait for peace to think clearly. He didn't wait for calm to act wisely. He worked through it. Every single day. That was his patience. Action that didn't stop just because results weren't showing yet. Epictetus had nothing. He was a slave. He had no freedom, no money, no power over his own life. He still built a philosophy that people study 2,000 years later. He didn't wait for better conditions. He built inside the worst ones. That is patience. Your brain does something tricky. It cannot tell the difference between waiting smart and just waiting. To your brain, both feel the same. Both feel safe. Both feel like you're doing the right thing. But only one of them is actually doing anything. Studies show the brain reads inaction as safety. When you stop moving, your brain relaxes. It stops sending signals that feel like danger. It tells you that you're okay, that you're fine, that you're being smart by waiting. But comfortable is not the same as correct. The brain rewards you for stopping. It gives you calm. It gives you relief. And then you mistake that relief for wisdom. You think the feeling of calm means you made the right call. You didn't. You just stopped. And your brain stopped screaming. That feeling is not patience. It's comfort disguised as strategy. Real patience has a specific shape. It executes every day. It shows up even when results are invisible. It releases the timeline but never releases the effort. You give up your need to see results on your schedule. You do not give up the work. That's the difference most people miss. They think surrendering the timeline means surrendering the effort. It doesn't. Surrendering the timeline means you stop checking the clock every 5 minutes. It means you stop needing proof that it's working in order to keep going. But your hands are still moving. Your mind is still sharp. You are still building. Waiting surrenders everything and calls it patience. Building surrenders only the timeline. Everything else stays. Here's a question, an honest one. Right now, in whatever area of your life you're being patient, are you actually doing something every day? Or are you just not looking at it and calling that patience? Because those are two completely different situations. If you're working, studying, building, practicing, improving, and you're doing it without demanding that results show up on your timeline, that's patience. Cold, real, stoic patience. If you stopped acting and you're waiting for conditions to improve before you start again, that's avoidance. That's protection from the risk of failing. That's your brain keeping you safe by keeping you still. And safety doesn't build anything. This content exists for people who can handle that kind of truth, not for people who need a push, or a feeling, or a reason to keep going. If the truth lands here and something shifts, that's enough. No subscriptions are asked for. No validation is needed. This channel doesn't follow people. It filters for the ones who already know how to follow themselves. Back to you. The question is not whether you're being patient or impatient. That framing is wrong. The real question is whether you are building or not building. Patience without action is not a virtue. It's a very clean, very comfortable excuse. It lets you feel disciplined while doing nothing. It lets you feel smart while your goal gets further away. It feels like wisdom because it looks like self-control. But self-control that controls nothing is just stillness. Marcus Aurelius wrote this down. He said your mind should be free of the noise of wanting results too fast. But his hands were not still. He governed, he wrote, he showed up every morning and did the work of ruling an empire while everything was on fire around him. He didn't wait for the fire to stop. You are not waiting for the right moment. You are avoiding the wrong outcome. You are protecting yourself from the feeling of failing. And every day you wait, you get better at waiting. The brain builds habits fast. The longer you stay still, the more natural stillness feels. And then one day, waiting feels like who you are. You are not a patient person. You are a person who stopped. The two things look the same for a while. No results visible. Nothing showing on the outside. But one of them is building something underground, roots growing where no one can see. And the other is just sitting in the same spot, slowly getting comfortable with not moving. You already know which one you are. The real check is simple. Strip away the story you're telling yourself. Strip away the reasons and the plans and the timing. Look at what you actually did today, yesterday, the day before. Was there work? Was there effort? Was there movement toward the thing you say you're being patient about? If yes, stay cold, stay consistent, surrender only the clock. If no, stop calling it patience. That word costs something. It means you're paying with daily effort in exchange for releasing the need to see results immediately. If you're not paying, you don't get to use it. You're not being patient. You're waiting, and waiting is just failure that hasn't been announced yet. Comfort ends here. No sympathy,